November. No Shave November. Today I'm choosing to cut down my beard, and it might not be a big deal. You know, a lot of people grow beards and cut it. But this one is something special to me. A little less than a year ago, I was illegally taken from my home and detained against my will. And I was denied my right to trim down my beard. So I decided, once I was released after 17 days, that I would grow it out as kind of a symbol of civil rights and also a symbol of Americanism, and kind of a protest, and also religious Lent, you know, giving up my right of trimming my beard. So I want to capture this moment as I free myself. I feel like I've been through a spiritual journey, and I'm getting to the end of it. I don't want to part from it. I can always grow it back. Shoot. Why do I cut it? Almost a year. God. Gone. No. Start off with fun. This clump of hair is pretty interesting. You probably can't see it, but half of it's like very dark brown, and then the others you can see like it's like a light brown with some blonde. Little combo hair. Goodness, so much. I don't know. New beard, new me. Ooh, buddy. Why? Your beard is weird. Your beard is weird. Fresh. You ain't going on a freaking date. Whew. Oh, buddy. Come on, ladies. Gotta get the trap activation. Ah. Yeah. Sacrifice. Sometimes you gotta make a sacrifice. You gotta give up some things in order to get some things. You're gonna come across that multiple times in your life. As you grow older, you'll sacrifice various different things. And so many people throughout history have sacrificed. We wouldn't have this great country if the men and women who built this country did not sacrifice. Now, I won't dive too deep into the sacrifice and the Lent that I went through when it came to my beard. Out of respect for the law enforcement and the brave men and women that serve their communities, you can't allow some bad apples to ruin the name of all of our brave men and women. But I have finished my sacrifice and I have taken off my beard. And you'll have to make a lot of sacrifices in your life as well. A lot of those sacrifices will be a lot different in different circumstances. You know, maybe you'll sacrifice, some things for your wife or your girlfriend. Quitting a bad habit or giving up something that you no longer need in your life so that you can have that person. And especially in fitness, you're gonna have to sacrifice. Especially if you're going into bodybuilding, you're gonna have to sacrifice those treats if you're gonna get down to those single-digit body fat percentages. That takes a lot of discipline. You're gonna have to sacrifice your time. You're gonna have to sacrifice your time to, stay at home and relax. You're gonna have to get into that gym. You're gonna have to spend some time in that gym, sculpting your physique, forming that iron. And that all takes time. You're going to have to sacrifice your discomfort or your comfort. You have to sacrifice your comfort. And you'll have to sit in discomfort whenever you're going through this fitness journey. Every single time you go to the gym, like I was telling you about doing leg squats and working out your legs, a lot of people are uncomfortable with working that muscle. And you have to fight through that discomfort so that you can get those gains, so that you can get the growth in those legs, to get the proper form, sacrificing that comfort. A lot of people don't like working out because they want to feel comfortable. It's not a comfortable thing to be lifting heavy weights, putting your body under that stress. But you'll adapt and overcome. I love the story of Jesus. I know I leave little breadcrumbs of religion, but his story is truly unique and an icon of sacrifice. A man that was blameless, did nothing wrong, yet died, went through torture, was mocked, slandered, and torn apart in the public eye. And he was forced to carry the cross himself, by himself. He carried the very tool that killed him. They made him carry it to the top of the hill. And the public had the option to free him. Him being an innocent man, they had the option. But instead they let a murderer go innocent. They deemed the murderer innocent. They let the murderer go free. It's pretty crazy. They killed Jesus because they could not face themselves. He died for all of their sins because they themselves could not die for them. They couldn't bring it upon themselves to die for their own sins, so Jesus died for theirs. That's sacrifice. That is the ultimate sacrifice. Especially when you only got one life.
You only get one life. God gave you a gift, so get out there. Get out there and enjoy your life. Don't let it waste. Don't be sitting on the couch watching TV. Get off this video, get your ass into the gym, and make your sacrifice. And sacrifice can be used in so many aspects in your life that can make your life so much better. You know, spending your time and sacrificing your time to go to work to earn the money so that you can buy a new car, or you can buy a new house, or you can provide for your family. Those are great sacrifices that you make every day, that you make those conscious decisions. So also celebrate those sacrifices. When you're in the midst of your sacrifice, you're probably going to lose focus. You're going to lose your vision and the reason why you're doing these things. You're going to have to remind yourself why you're going to the gym. Whenever that self-doubt seeps in, you're going to have to remind yourself. So you better have something that keeps you focused. Something to remind you, if it's a picture, a video, or an item, or a scripture, or something. A motive, you know, when I say scripture, it could be something biblical, or maybe a quote. Something that can re-trigger that motivation in your mind to remind you of why you're sacrificing, because it's not going to be easy at all. It's a sacrifice. It's hard. And you're going to have to remind yourself in the midst of it on why you're doing it. So when you're in the gym and it sucks and you're sweating and you just want to skip out on that last workout, or you know, you just don't want to be there that day. And that happened to me literally 2 days ago whenever I was in doing arms. I was not feeling it. I felt weak. I didn't feel, you know, my joints started aching. You know, your joints are going to ache sometimes as you increase in weight, as you lift. And you're going to get that self-doubt. And you got to remind yourself, this is why I'm doing it. I'm here to get stronger. And the joints won't hurt the next time I'm in here. You know, I'll make sure I get plenty of rest. I'll make sure I eat before I go in there. Make sure you fine-tune those adjustments so that you can get better. And stay focused on the goal. The duration of time of the sacrifice will also dictate the difficulty. The longer the sacrifice, the more of a fight you're going to have with yourself to overcome it. A sacrifice for a day is going to be different than a sacrifice for years. Sacrifice in years, you're going to have to constantly remind yourself of that goal, because your mind will wander down a different path and start to talk to you about going the other direction, just giving up. But never surrender, never quit. You're going to have people in your life, family, friends, that will tell you to go the other direction. So when the holidays come, which we're in the midst of it, with Thanksgiving and Christmas, as you go to these dinners, they're going to tell you, hey, eat up, But if you're in the midst of your sacrifice, don't give in. I think this really applies for all the business owners out there. I had support from my friends and family. I won't say that I won't. But I would say that majority of them were fair weather fans. When the times got tough, who really stood there with me and said, keep going, keep going? Who were those people? And those are the people that need to stay around you. The people that support you no matter what. Even in the thick of it, they'll be there. Surround yourself with a support group, because you're going to need them in your time of sacrifice. In the business world, I tell you what, I can't tell you how many days and nights I sacrifice creating and molding my business. It was the toughest thing I've ever done. You know what? Story time. So, I used to own my own home. It was a big home, 2,500 square feet. And it was an old home in Firestone, Akron, Ohio. Okay, this neighborhood was built because of the company Firestone. Literally, they wanted to have their workers live close to their factory, and they built this little section of the city. They donated all this land to the city, and they built houses there, and the workers lived there. So I owned one of those homes. It's pretty interesting. I think the house dated back to like 1913. It's freaking crazy. It was a beautiful home. It was historic. And I loved that home. And whenever I was living there, I had my brother living with me. I was helping him out, kind of guiding him to be his own man. And I'm very proud of my brother that he, eventually moved out and, became his own man. I also had one of my friends move in, and, I was trying to do the same thing for him. He's just always been all over the place with his life. But once he moved out, his father, or his grandparents passed away, okay? And so his father used to live in a house that his grandparents owned. And so when they passed, he didn't have a house. And there was a big giant, legal process with the will, and so he was going to be in between places. And I offered, hey, come stay with me. While you're figuring out this whole legal mumbo jumbo, you stay with me, and you just figure it out, and then you'll be on your way. Try to help someone out. Your support group, believe in your people. And unfortunately, 6 months go by, and I'm constantly telling them, hey, stay on this legal process, because you don't know what these lawyers are up to. Sometimes these lawyers will milk things. They'll extend things so that they get paid more. And that's the scary thing about the legal system. You gotta be careful who you hire when it comes to lawyers. But I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. Turns out some shady stuff happened, and I don't think he got anything. I think at the very end, amongst the family, certain people got what they got majority, or they probably also lost too, because they extended the argument. They all argued and fought each other for so long that, these lawyers made pretty much all of it. That's the way I took it. Whether that happened or not, that's the way that I interpreted it. That, you know, sometimes these lawyers, they could have everyone arguing with each other just so that it extends and extends and extends, and the lawyers will end up with your will. So be careful when it comes to these marriages. Whenever you get divorced, arguing with your soon-to-be ex-wife or ex-husband, you might be arguing with them because the lawyer is fueling that fire. So I'd be careful. It's probably best to just make amends and not fight, because you're going to go broke, and the people that are antagonizing it are the ones that are making money off of your fucking misfortune. I'd watch out. So be careful out there, folks. Be careful out there. But back to my story. I noticed that my business was struggling at this time, and I had to make the sacrifice. And this is, I will tell you, this is the biggest sacrifice that I have ever had to make. Second biggest sacrifice. The first one I probably will never, that'll be a story I probably will never tell. But the biggest sacrifice I've ever made was when I had to turn to him, and I had to tell him, because I was losing income and I was just about to have to close my business. I looked at him, I said, hey, I gotta kick you out. You gotta leave. And this was back in October, and this is in Ohio, mind you, so winter's coming. It's about to get cold, and I'm not gonna kick him out in the freaking snow. It would kill me too much. It was already killing me to have to confront him and say, hey, I have to play tough right now and say, hey, you're not paying rent. You know, I'm out of money, and I can't keep on fronting all the bills if you're not gonna, you know, pitch in. So I had to if I couldn't afford it, I had to reduce size in my expenses. So I had to kick him out, and it was the toughest thing I've ever done, and it still to this day kills my soul. But if I didn't do it, I would have lost everything. I would have lost my home. I would have lost my business. But because of the grace of God, my business turned around. And, you know, with that sacrifice, you know, of offloading, you know, the extra weights, the extra expenses, I even had to cut down on my groceries. I had to cut down on going out all the time, all the pleasures, you know, had to stop drinking. Can't go out and drink alcohol, because you gotta sacrifice that. It's not a necessity. It's, you know, it's just something that you just enjoy. So those are the first things you got to get rid of. You know, all Netflix, you know, gotta get rid of that. Hulu, get rid of that. We're just sticking to YouTube, baby. We going free, baby. Freebie or Freebie. We're gonna watch movies on Freebie. Or Tubi. We're gonna watch movies on Tubi. Movies that been out for a while, baby. Repeat. Yeah. But my business turned around, and because of the sacrifice. So remember that you might have to make sacrifices sometimes. And my relationship with my friend's father is still good, and he understood. He understood, and he's doing all right from what I can see. And he's a tough individual. That guy's tough as nails. There's nothing in the world that can bother that man. So let's get in there and make our sacrifice. Alright, so when it comes to these straps, just be careful. See how it's starting to tear right there?
this is when you need to replace them, because if this thing rips while I'm lifting, I could jeopardize my bicep. So use your lifting equipment appropriately. I'll be in the market for some straps. Our warm-up set. Now you're gonna notice I'm rubbing my shin and my knee with this bar. Reason why I'm doing that is I'm trying to get my glutes activated. I'm not trying to just bend over. I'm trying to sit and have the weight right here in my glutes. So whenever I power up, I'm hipping out. I want all the power to be in my glutes and not in my lower back. I don't want to throw out my lower back.
Are you using the Smith machine?
I am not. It's all yours, sir.
You're not? Are
Nope.
you done? Are you sure?
No, I haven't even used it. Someone else did.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
you
I was
want-
just making sure. I didn't know if you were running a circuit. or
Yeah,
something.
I like your hat.
Thanks. I'm Hog X, the Hog Exterminator. I
Okay.
have a hog boar, like boars had a tattooed on my back.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Killing pigs and living life big time.
All right, we're going into our second warm-up set. All right, we're getting into our first working set, strength set. And what I'm gonna do is what I did last week, is I am gonna keep the weight off the ground for probably the first few, just to get my lower back a workout. But I don't wanna do it the whole time because I have overstressed my lower back. And so I'm trying to find the middle ground of working my lower back, but not using my lower back all the time. I need my lower back to be simulated at a heavier weight so it doesn't give out whenever I'm doing my max lifts. But I don't want to fatigue it out before I get to those max lifts. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a workout, and I'm not using my lower back. I'm just suspending the weight and not touching the ground. So I'm still using my glutes. You got to keep that mind muscle connection on the glutes. This is a leg workout, so keep that in mind. Make sure you rub the legs, and let's get at it. So we didn't make it to 12. We made it within our range. It's still a good working weight. All right, now we're getting into our power set. I do have a little tweak in my traps from arm day. I know it's kind of odd that I tweak myself on arm day, but flexing the whole entire body while doing curls, that'll do it. I even stretched, but as I get older, these things start to happen, so it's very important that you start stretching and working those joints before you start lifting. But thus far, my traps they're not giving out, so we'll hope and pray. I feel good. All right, I may have had one more in the chamber, but we gotta practice our max. But I'm pretty gassed out on that one. So with looking at the reps that we did, we can gauge in and see that we need to still work with this weight. So I would say in 2 weeks, we might be able to go up in weight, but we gotta pay attention to how we feel. We'll see how we feel with this weight next week. All right, practice max number 1. We'll see how many times we can do this. I want to see if I can actually go up today. My goal is to do 425, and I think we'll just leave it at that. We're not going to push ourselves too much. So if we get 425 today, I'll be happy with that. We'll inch our way. That felt good. And remember, you got to sit back in it. I mean, you can see these power lifters for the world record lifts. When the beast rolls that weight, he just sits back. Ooh, he literally, as you can tell, I was falling back because I don't have the weight, but you'll just sit. And if I let go of this weight, I'd fall back, but I'm just sitting, and then you're hipping. Sitting and hipping. So we'll move up in weight on our practice max. 415 has been conquered. We'll go with 425. And we'll upgrade our sheet. So we're inching our way. We're slowly getting to that 405, or that 505. We already got 405. All right, so now we're going 425. Felt good on that one too. But I feel like if I was to go up in weight, I would be sacrificing form. I feel like my form is exactly where it needs to be. We've already did our practice max twice today, so we're just gonna cut it. We're gonna go back down. And what I'm seeing is we have the power. So you'll see that I'm gonna increase the weight on the max portion. I'm gonna keep the weight where it is on strength and power because we need to work on endurance. We're not getting to the highest number. We're not getting to the 12, we're not getting to 6. So we're gassing out throughout those reps. We have the power, but we don't have the endurance. And so that's what we need to work on. Going back down to strength. Now I'm not gonna hover with this weight. My lower back is already worked out. I don't need to put extra stress on it. So I'm just gonna be picking it up, putting it back down. And be careful when you're doing these deadlifts that the slightest sacrifice of form could be detriment. You could lose all your gains by just pulling a muscle in your back or in your arms and your traps. All these smaller muscles that you recruit for this workout. So just make sure that you're playing it safe. Like right now, I believe I got to 8, and I feel like my glutes maybe could have cranked out maybe 1 or 2 more, but they are fatigued. But the thing is, I could feel it in my arms from arm day. So my biceps and triceps that are squeezing, holding and supporting this weight, you know, the secondary muscles in this compound lift that are being recruited to support this weight, especially in the back. Your back muscles are supporting it. You gotta be careful. Once they start fatiguing out, you might wanna just cut it, come back next week, because those muscles will be stronger next week and you'll be able to go ahead and lift some more. So be patient with the process. Yeah. Ah.
shit. So occasionally, whenever I'm watching YouTube, I watch this channel called OE Fitness. It has a bunch of funny gym videos. And everyone, I think, has a funny gym moment. And this memory of mine just kind of popped up. And I just want to ponder on it and share it with you guys. That I remember in my college days, my friend Derek, we would go at like
4:30 in the morning to the gym before class. And we worked out, and then we would go to the locker room and shower and change and go to school. Now, this is a kind of moment that you can't really record. It's only in the memory. But I remember when me and Derek went into the shower, there was one guy in there. And it was funny. We were like caddy corner, and my shampoo was completely empty. And I dropped it on the ground on purpose, and I kicked it over to my friend, and I said, "Hey buddy, can you pick that up for me, big fella?" And that guy freaked the fuck out. He was out of that shower, lickety fucking split. It was fucking hilarious. Just imagine an episode like that. If you have a funny gym moment, share it in the comments and let me know what the funniest moment was for you. Sheesh. Shit. Now in my workout, I put that my shoulder press max was 165 or 155, and I'm doing 165 right here. So clearly I need to redo my max, but I'm not gonna focus on my max with all these other workouts that I'm doing where I'm maxing out on bench and squats and deadlifts. It's a lot of stress on the body. So we'll focus just on the work. Ooh, I can definitely feel that I came a long way if that weight was what I was doing as a max. I just did it 12 times. Sheesh. As you can tell with the compound lifts, I tier up and then I tier down, a pyramid workout. But the rest of the workouts, I usually do a warm-up if I'm not already warmed up. And I only do 3 sets of 8 to 12. Unless it's like a smaller muscle, like forearms or calves, I'll probably do 13 to 16. You know, they're a small twitch kind of muscle. that's going to need more repetitions to get the exercise out of it. You're not going to have a large range of motion. So I'm only going to do 3 sets of 8 to 12, and then I always do a burnout set where I take 15 pounds off each side, 30 pounds total off, and I'll do a burnout. And my rep ranges are still an indicator. I did 12 reps on the last one, so this weight felt really good. If I hit 12 on this, then I know I need to go up in weight. So I'm just another reminder that the rep ranges are an indicator of where you're at, not exactly what you're trying to go for. You don't want to be aiming for 10 all the time, because then you're not going to progress. Your body's always going to think 10. So you always want to be reaching for the higher number and go to failure on every set. Fatigued out, so we know where we need to work on. We need to work on our endurance. We'll stay with this weight. I think next week we'll have it. Next week we should have it. And I also need to eat before I go to the gym. I've been bad about it. Shit. Gassed out way too early on that one. I can feel it. We're here to lose. We'll get better next week. I really thought we were going to kill it, but I gassed out. Ooh.
Oh, shoot. So what I'm doing is I do it unsupported, going full range of motion until my abs give out. And then I'm bringing myself up to a more supported position where my butt isn't hanging off. And I'll do pretty much halves so that I can fully fatigue the abs. It's pretty much like the pull-ups I do. I'll do pull-ups where I have no support, and once I fatigue out, I'll bring that assist up, and then I'll do a couple where I'm just like holding it. So I'm just kind of squeezing out a little bit more out of the workout so I can get to failure. Ooh, shoot. Oh my gosh. I'm already fatigued out from the bench. Goodness. Man, we suck at this. We'll get better. I gassed out. I'm fucking done. God. Juicy.